What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package known as the American Jobs Plan, and the next stimulus package known as the American Families Plan. This will be a major video. There is like 3 sets of major breaking news. Yeah, very this is no joke. Very major news here regarding the next infrastructure package, the next stimulus package, and the eviction moratorium. We have a major announcement from President Biden, as well as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And the Nancy Pelosi thing actually shocked me. My wife showed me this article, and I was like, first of all, what does this even mean? And then I was like, wow. Like she's shrewd, man. Nancy Pelosi is shrewd. Yeah, we're going to get into all the details here. This is one you want to watch all the way to the end of the video because, yeah, this is major breaking news. All right, let's just jump right in and let's start with the first one. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for this video. I work hard for you guys every single day. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on new updates. It's completely free to do so. Okay, first up, major breaking news just a few hours ago. The CDC has extended the eviction moratorium through July. So they have extended the eviction moratorium for 1 more month. So this was set to end at the end of June, and they have now extended for over 10 million people that are currently in a possible eviction situation right now. As you can see here, the CDC today announced a 1-month extension to the nationwide pause on evictions in a place of the pandemic. The eviction moratorium was set to expire at the end of June, will now last through July under the new order, which is expected to be the final extension, the CDC says. Ooh. Very interesting news there. The CDC order was enacted in September by then President Trump and subsequently extended by Congress and President Biden. The federal moratorium allows tenants who have lost income during the pandemic to protect themselves from eviction by declaring under penalty of perjury that they have made their best effort to pay rent and would face overcrowded conditions if evicted. I also want to note this, as you can see here, some states which bear responsibility for distributing more than the $45 billion in federally funded rent assistance have been very slow to make disbursements. A Biden official who briefed reporters on background was unable to provide specific details on how much assistance has been provided by states, but added that, quote, "We are seeing a trajectory of increase." We're not going to go over rent assistance and mortgage assistance in this video. I'll do that in upcoming videos, and I'll link you to my most recent video I did just a few days ago. All 50 states have mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax, or some property tax assistance and utility assistance going on right now from the $45 billion that became available from the third stimulus check. A lot of states, I think it was Wyoming and Colorado, have only sent out less than 2% of the money that they've been allotted for mortgage assistance and rental assistance, okay? So a lot of this money is still going to be becoming available as they kind of loosen up restrictions, make it available to more people, and actually get on their horse, as my dad would say, and start sending this rent assistance and mortgage assistance out. So if you haven't applied yet, you might want to go and apply now. If you're on a waiting list, you might be getting this here soon. As well as, in addition to that, is the $350 billion going out to states, cities, and counties, which we're seeing state stimulus checks come from, and these huge, massive rent assistance and mortgage assistance programs like California and New York just announced. Again, I'll be covering that more in upcoming videos. But now, let's get to President Biden. Major news. Quote, President Biden says, "We have a deal." Biden says after meeting with the Senate Infrastructure Group. Also, you can note up here that the stock market, the Dow Jones Index, jumped up pretty quickly, over 300 points to a session high as President Biden announces a new infrastructure deal. So let me show you this, and then I'm going to show you what Nancy Pelosi says, which completely floored me. Okay, as you can see here, President Joe Biden on Thursday today declared that the White House had struck an infrastructure deal with a bipartisan group of senators after discussing the massive plan to improve the nation's roads, bridges, and broadband earlier in the day. Now, remember, the next stimulus package comes after this. So passing this is the first priority, amongst with the White House says it will create millions of jobs and help our country with infrastructure. Quote, White House senior staff had two productive meetings today with the bipartisan group of senators who have been negotiating about infrastructure. Now, 21 senators are part of this group that has kind of agreed here. Note the key here is 11 Republicans. Normally, you would need all the Democrats, just kind of the way things have been going, 50 Democrats and 10 Republicans to vote yes to get the 60 votes needed to pass the bill and bypass the filibuster process. This is because, again, they're going to pass this with bipartisan support and not use the reconciliation process. So they will need 60 votes. So you would think here, as long as all the Democrats come on board, they will have enough of votes to pass this. But remember, Senator Bernie Sanders has kind of threatened here just a few days ago that he would not vote for, and some of the more progressive Democrats would not vote for a much smaller bipartisan deal, saying that the infrastructure package is not enough and that our country needs a lot more. I personally don't think he'll end up going through with that. I think that when it comes time to vote, I think he will vote for that. And I do think they're going to get enough votes for this. Okay. So they have enough Republican votes with the 10 or 11 that are just right there. But if we lose some Democrat votes, then we'll need more Republicans. This is like the balancing act we've been talking about here, is that if we go too low on the infrastructure package, we start to lose Democratic votes. Okay. Progressive Democrats. If we go too high, then we lose Republican votes, and then the Democrats have to pass both the bills combined through the infrastructure package. But again, the problem with that is if we pass a too large of a package together, we won't get enough Democratic votes to even pass it through the reconciliation process, which is where the Democrats can pass it completely on their own with only 50 votes in the Senate. But to do that, we need the moderate Democratic senators like Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to say yes, which they did do in the third stimulus check package. The Democrats passed that third stimulus check package completely on their own without any Republican votes at all. All 50 senators from the Democratic senators from the Senate all voted yes, including Senator Joe Manchin. And that will have to probably happen again. Even if they pass the infrastructure package with Republican support, they're almost assuredly going to have to pass the next stimulus package through the reconciliation process. These two packages are kind of intertwined. Their fates are really intertwined. You have to pass the infrastructure package either with Republicans or without to get to the stimulus package. If they pass it with the Republicans, they can pass it pretty quickly here, depending on how long it takes them to write up the bill and vote on it. Then they can vote on the stimulus package on their own, okay? But if they don't pass the physical infrastructure package with Republicans, then they're going to go with a larger package and combine the two and pass through the reconciliation process. But now President Biden is saying they have made a deal, so it's going to come down to the finite little details here of what they actually put in the writing. But it looks like they're going to be able to pass it with Republican support. So hopefully that happens here pretty quickly. They're going to have to write the bill and vote on it. I will keep you up to date on this. But here's what Nancy Pelosi says, which I never would have seen this coming for a mile. Listen to this.
Let me be really clear on this. We will not take up a bill in the House until the Senate passes the bipartisan bill and a reconciliation bill. If there is no bipartisan bill, then we'll just go when the Senate passes a reconciliation bill. But I'm hopeful that we would have the bipartisan bill. I think it would be really important to demonstrate the bipartisanship that has always been a hallmark of our infrastructure legislation. It's always been bipartisan, and less so when President Obama was president because the Republicans wanted to shrink the program. But nonetheless, it was a bipartisan bill.
All right, so let me explain this. This is a very shrewd move here by Nancy Pelosi. I never would have expected this. She's actually kind of protecting the next stimulus package. Nancy Pelosi, who's the Speaker of the House, the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, she's the leader of the House. She vows that no vote will happen on the bipartisan deal, the infrastructure package, without the Senate action also on the reconciliation deal, which now will be just the American Families Plan, just the stimulus package. All right, so let's just clarify this. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday said the U.S. House of Representatives will not vote on the bipartisan infrastructure deal until the Senate also passes a larger package of Democratic priorities that can evade the Republican filibuster, aka the American Families Plan, aka the next stimulus package. So she's saying, again, she's the leader of the House. She's like how Mitch McConnell used to be the leader of the Senate, and he would just let bills die or not let them be voted on until something that he wanted done was done. I mean, we've seen this with the $1,400 Cash Act stimulus check that former President Trump wanted. Nancy Pelosi passed in the House. They sent it to Mitch McConnell, and he wouldn't even let it go for a vote. They ended up losing the Senate over that. Well, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is kind of, and for whatever reason, there's probably a lot of reasons behind this, she's protecting the next stimulus package. She's saying that the House of Representatives will not vote on a bipartisan group deal, this deal they're working on right now that President Biden just said yes to. She's not going to let it be voted on in the House, similar to how Mitch McConnell would normally hold bills or hold them indefinitely. She's saying that she's going to hold this bill and not let it be voted on until the Senate also passes the reconciliation bill for the next stimulus package. So basically, now we'll have to see if she really sticks to her guns here and holds to this, but she's not going to pass the infrastructure package bill until they also pass in the Senate the stimulus package as well. So she's saying, I don't want to pass this infrastructure package. We'll pass that. We'll get that done. And then we may have trouble passing the next stimulus package for whatever reason she's thinking, right? As I've said, I think there's about a 99% chance they're going to have to pass the next stimulus package through the reconciliation process. So maybe she's worried about Senator Joe Manchin holding up the deal or something like that, because it's almost surely going to be just Democrats that pass the next stimulus package. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. This is a move I would have never seen coming. As you can see here, Nancy Pelosi's remarks are meant to assuage progressives that are nervous that the bipartisan deal could negate efforts to approve a much larger package, aka the next stimulus package, of priorities through the special budget rules, the reconciliation in the Senate, that would allow the measures to avoid a GOP filibuster. She says, quote, "Let me be clear on this. We will not take up a bill in the House until the Senate also passes the bipartisan bill and the reconciliation bill, which is, the bipartisan bill is now the physical infrastructure package, the American Jobs Plan, and the reconciliation bill is now just the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, which, of course, there's about 20 different stimulus items in there. There's a potential forced stimulus check in there, a potential monthly recurring forced stimulus check in there, a potential extension of the monthly recurring checks that are called the child tax credits that are only passed for 1 year, $250 to $300 per month, starting on July 15th. Those are passed for just this year. They want to extend that till 2025. There's a possible Social Security increase in there, a Medicare expansion to include additional Medicare benefits of hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids that will probably be included in this next package now that they have Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on board with that, as well as 2 years of free preschool, 2 years of free college, possible student loan debt forgiveness, as well as other things like a $15,000 to $25,000 new home buyer tax credit or down payment credit. And you don't have to necessarily even be a first-time home buyer. You just have to be a new home buyer in the last 3 years. Like I said, there's about 20 different items that they're currently negotiating on for this next stimulus package. I don't think that every single item will make it in there, but I do think this is going to be a huge package. I do think there's going to be at least a fourth stimulus check, a single stimulus check. And I do think that things like the Medicare have really been catching on fire and been getting a lot of motivation right now, or a lot of support right now for those additional Medicare benefits, which is mostly for seniors. I do think we're going to probably end up seeing that in this package. That will be a game changer to say that hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids are now covered for free under Medicare. If you currently have coverage like that, you're 75% of seniors do not have those coverage. If you currently do have coverage, you actually pay extra for them, and you most likely would not have to pay that extra money every month anymore if they included it for free. So you'd actually be saving money every single month if they included that. So yeah, there is a lot of different stimulus provisions that they're currently negotiating on over this next package that Nancy Pelosi is now saying, no, no, we have to pass them both at the same time because I'm not going to fall for a trap here. She's saying basically a lot of my progressive Democrats are worried that we were going to pass the infrastructure package bill and then have a problem with the next stimulus package bill. So she's saying, no, I'm going to force you guys to pass them both at the same time. Nancy Pelosi says, quote, I'm very optimistic that it will happen. And I don't want to say a lot of the fears. I don't think they're fears. They're just advocating. And God bless them for doing that. But we're not going down the path unless we all go down the path together with the next stimulus package and the next infrastructure package. According to the senators involved in the infrastructure negotiation, the proposal includes about $579 billion in new spending for a total of $974 billion over 5 years and $1.2 trillion over 8 years. So if we round this to $600 billion, there's only $600 billion in new spending, and the additional $600 billion for the total of $1.2 trillion is going to come from the stimulus money that is sitting on the side and has already been passed but hasn't been used. As we've said on this channel, there is about $2 trillion of stimulus money from the past 6 stimulus packages. Yes, former President Trump passed 5 stimulus packages. Most people don't know that. Most people only think of the 2 stimulus checks, but there was actually 5 packages passed total. 2 of them had checks. The other 3 had other stimulus provisions like Paycheck Protection Program and vaccine money and miscellaneous stuff like that. Current President Biden has already passed 1 stimulus package, so 6 packages passed total. Out of those 6 packages, there's $2 trillion of stimulus money. Because remember, these are stimulus packages, all sorts of different things in there. There's paycheck protection program money, there's rent assistance money. The stimulus check money is all spent and going out. I mean, they're still sending out some stimulus checks to people that haven't got them yet. But I mean, it's not like stimulus check money is still sitting there. But we got money for airlines, money for restaurants, various sorts of different programs like that, right? There's $2 trillion sitting there, a lot of it from Paycheck Protection Program money that hasn't been spent that they're now reallocating. They're going to use $600 billion of that for this infrastructure package, at least based on this current deal that President Biden has made or has agreed to. Of course, they're still going to have to pass it. And you see Nancy Pelosi is kind of complicating things right now, so we'll have to see what happens. But there's also $350 billion that just went out to states and cities that was originally from that $2 trillion. So if you subtract those two, there's around $1.1 trillion still left over that they could use for the next stimulus package, the next stimulus check, or multiple stimulus checks. That is not even new money. It's already passed. They will have to vote on it to repurpose it. So they can't just somebody can't just take it and use it for whatever they want. If they're going to repurpose it to, say, use it for a stimulus check, they will have to vote on that. But it's a very much easier vote because it's money that's already passed. There's not spending any new money. The printer's not going brrr, so the money printer is kind of paused right now. The federal, the government money printer, which really, they don't even really print money nowadays. Now it's just like everything's bank account, right? I mean, yeah, they print some money, but they're sending you a check, which is not really cash, and they're sending you direct deposits, which is just kind of like a comma in a computer system. Right? Things are crazy. Eventually, we're going to probably have it where we're not going to have paper cash. It's probably quite a ways away, but if you're like me, man, I don't even use cash. I use credit card and just pay it through my bank account. And I mean, I carry some cash on me, but I really don't pay with cash every day. Just put it on my card, I get cash back, and then I pay the card off with my bank account, and it's just like a lot of people are, going to a cashless society, but yeah, it's getting kind of weird. Now they can print trillions of dollars and not even have to print any money. They just add a 2 commas or add a 1 onto the $1 trillion that they have in the bank, and they just, add another trillion and poof, it's there. And that's how these the last stimulus checks literally went out 2 days after they passed it. If you remember, I think the second stimulus check and the third stimulus check, that first wave of direct deposits, if you were part of that first wave, they passed the package and you got your money 2 days later via direct deposit. In fact, let me know if you were part of the second or third stimulus check where you got that first wave of direct deposit and you got your money like instantly. I was still reporting that they passed it, and then all of a sudden Jerome Powell said, "Yeah, the money's going to be there tomorrow." Or actually, I think it was Steve Mnuchin at the time, and now Janet Yellen, the new Treasury Secretary, is. But yeah, they're like, "Yeah, money's going out tomorrow." I'm like, "Going out tomorrow? What are you talking about? Like they just passed it." And yeah, they sent them out pretty quickly right now. Now, of course, if you're one of the people that didn't get them, you're probably thinking, Jimmy, what are you talking about, bro? I've been waiting months for my third stimulus check. Yeah, they are still sending that. And I think that the majority of people that haven't gotten their third stimulus check yet are because of there's ID verification for their tax returns. A lot of tax returns right now are delayed as well for fraud checks, as well as ID verifications or manual processing. So that's delaying over 10 million tax returns, as well as delaying some people's third stimulus check. Because if your tax return gets caught up in a fraud check, they can actually delay your stimulus check for that reason as well. But the government says they actually saved $2.5 billion going out last year that would have went out to fraudulent like scammers, and they prevented that through these manual processing and this ID verification and these fraud checks. And I think it was something like 63% of all the tax returns and stuff that they held for fraud were actually fraud. So yeah, they're actually doing a very good job with that. Of course, if your money's delayed, you're probably hating them right now, and trust me, I get it. But I mean, we also don't want billions of dollars to go to scammers and fraudsters. So it's a tricky thing when you're sending out checks to millions and millions of people. It's not a one man operation. You're looking at a whole huge operation to do these. So let me know your thoughts on everything that just went down. Eviction moratorium extension. Rent assistance that's still going out, but very slowly. A lot of states are behind on that. President Biden agrees to a deal for the infrastructure package. And then Nancy Pelosi says, wait a minute, maybe not. We need to pass both these packages at the same time. One through support with Republicans and the other one through reconciliation. So things are really heating up right now. Don't miss any episodes. Remember, new videos come out every day here on my channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And after subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos. You can click this video here to watch about states, cities, and counties passing their own stimulus checks and stimulus programs. Click this top video if you have children or if you have friends or families with children about the child checks going out. And this bottom video is my newest video about Social Security increases potentially going out. So click on one of those videos next to watch them next, and I will see you in the next video.